As South Africa commemorates 125 years since the Battle of Spion Kop fought between the 23-24 January 1900 during the Anglo-Boer War, we're reminded of domestic tourism's significance in showcasing and preserving our rich history and heritage. So this pivotal moment in the country's fight for land sparks an important question: how accessible is the heritage to locals? We explore this question through the lens of the Battle of Spion Kop, as well as the Battle of Isandlwana. That's the commemorations, of course. These historical events offer a unique opportunity to reflect on the importance of preserving our heritage and make it all accessible to South Africans. To discuss this further, we're joined by Spion Kop Director of Marketing, Lynette Heron. Lynette, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. Let's just remind our viewers the significance of the Battle of Spion Kop, what significance it holds in South Africa's history, and why it's important to commemorate this.
Good morning to the listeners. I'm Lynette Heron, chairperson of the Commemoration Committee. The Battle of Spion Kop was part of what is known as the Tugela campaign in order to relieve Ladysmith, which was under siege by the Boers. The Battle of Spion Kop was the most ferocious and bloody of the Boer War and marked the end of Buller's second attempt to relieve Ladysmith. Spion Kop was the natural strong point on the Tugela, and it's occupied and held by the British. It was thought that it would secure them the path to Ladysmith.
Yeah, and I want to bring it to the issue of tourism now. There's so many important aspects in South Africa's history that may not be forgotten. How can domestic tourism contribute to the preservation and promotion of South Africa's history and heritage?
Okay, remembrance unites people of all faiths, cultures, backgrounds. Remembrance honors those that serve to defend our democratic freedoms and a way of life. The Spion Kop battlefield is unique in that it includes memorials to everybody who participated at the battle: the South Africans, the British, the Indian stretcher bearers, and the African scouts. The commemoration was attended by various diplomats, Ella Gandhi, who is the granddaughter of Sir Winston Churchill. And we find that most of the people interested in our battlefields have been international in the past. However, since the COVID and the lockdown, our national interest has grown and has developed considerably.
And what
but we do need more publicity.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Lynette. Apologies for that. I think we have a delay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so by hosting a commemoration such as the Battle of Spion Kop or the Isandlwana battle, it creates an awareness and generates interest in our battlefields. We've had 2 regiments out here from the United Kingdom. We've had the British High Commissioner and various messages. We received a message from Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and a signed letter came out. We've received messages from the Lord Mayor of Liverpool. So that is how we generate the interest in our heritage.
Yeah, and how accessible are these historical sites, to local communities, particularly in the rural areas? That's a very important aspect, where we're not just, not that we just, cater for the international market, but also cater for the locals to get a greater understanding of what happened in the past.
It is essential that we create an understanding. A number of the schools come up here. We take them up on buses, up onto Spion Kop. The Spion Kop battlefield is not as easily accessible as others because it is quite a high level, but there are the children go up in the buses. We organise buses for them. We go and Raymond talks to Sir Raymond Heron, that's my husband, sorry. He goes and he actually talks to the children in the school, and then that develops the interest. And various of the schools have annually have historical tours, and they come up and teach the children as part of their syllabus.
And what role
to go out to Isandlwana and to us.
And to Spion Kop. Okay, so what role can government and the private sector play in terms of partnerships in developing and promoting these historical tourism sites in the country?
A huge part by working together, marketing the areas as we've had a wonderful experience with, for example, Tourism KwaZulu-Natal and Filming Authority. And we've had a MAFO who they look after all the reserves and the Commonwealth War Graves. So if we all work together and to participate in marketing the battlefields, I think that's the best way we can work together. And this commemoration we've just had, it was a success just because we worked together.